It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 dig, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Race owner Kyle Busch, crew chief Steve Addington, and team owner JD Gibbs. Kyle, how was the race today? Tell us about it.
Well, it was a pretty good race considering where we thought we were going to be, where we unloaded with and everything. But, you know, I got to thank Steve. I got to thank Andy Graves from Toyota. I got to thank AP Brakes, Mac Tools, all those guys that worked so hard with us and, you know, worked so hard this weekend. All the guys on the team. I mean, we changed everything from Friday to Saturday. And so guys did an awesome job, and Steve made some great calls on what to change and how to get the thing better. And so, you know, judging by where we started, we didn't think we were going to be that great. But, you know, once we got through happy hour, we thought we'd be okay. And we passed, I don't know, we came from like 30th to 13th or 12th or something like that in that first run before the first green flag pit stops took place. And, you know, that was pretty awesome. I felt like that was pretty sporty. And then, you know, after the first round of green flag pit stops, caution came out. And fortunately, we were up front when it mattered most. And we kind of held on from there today. Both cautions fell our way. And, you know, we were able to stay up front and, you know, run only as hard as we needed to, conserve just a little bit of fuel, not much, and, you know, we were able to win here.
Steve, what did it look like at the top of the pit box today?
Kyle did an awesome job. We talked about it. You know, we needed to be patient. We had a game plan on when we were going to pit, and worked through there. It kind of surprised me that the car was good enough to drive from 30th to 13th there on that first green flag run, and we stuck with our game plan and pitted when we needed to, caught the cautions right, and it worked out for us. Everybody on this race team needs to be, you know, recognized because they worked their tails off this weekend, people. It was really big to have these guys work their guts out and come out with a win. That's awesome.
Questions in the media center? Lewis?
Lewis Frank, ESPN. Steve and Kyle, have you ever had a weekend where you've had such a turnaround?
No. When we were here Friday, literally, I mean, I thought it was just going to be a dismal weekend, and I was trying to figure out what tire barrier we were going to put it in because it was, I mean, it wasn't fun, but, I mean, we came so far. I've never turned a race car around that much, and when you turn a race car around that much, you know that there's obviously some progress that's been made, and you know, I mean, it means so much to me that these guys were able to do that, and you know, it sucks that we tested and then we unloaded as bad as we did, but you know, it was cool that we were able to make that many changes here this weekend and get that good in order to win here today, and now we can take our stuff that we've got here and go test it and see exactly how to make this stuff better.
Kyle, Tom Jensen from SpeedTV.com up here. Usually when there's a lot of late race restarts, the guy behind you will rough up the leader or at the very least get up close to him at some point. Nobody even came close to you over the last few cautions. Were you surprised by that, and what was the reason for it?
Well, I mean, I got good restarts. That was probably a little bit of the reason, just being able to get off the line really well and get up the hill. I mean, my stuff would turn up the hill okay. And you know, David Gilliland was behind me there in those in the last restart, I think it was, and you know, he's a really good friend of mine, and I wasn't sure exactly how hard he was going to push it to get his first win, but you know, he did a phenomenal job today, and that team and those guys, you know, for being under budgeted and everything. I mean, that was pretty cool and pretty special. So, you know, besides the rest of the guys that were behind me, you know, when I guess Harvick got into McMurray, who got into Stewart, I mean, that's just a bummer deal, you know, and everybody makes mistakes sometimes, but, you know, when Harvick comes up to me and runs his mouth last weekend like he did at Michigan and says all the stuff he did, he sort of stuck it right back in his mouth here this weekend. So that was good to see.
Bob Margolis, Yahoo Sports. Of course, everyone's going to say, well, this is a result of only running one race this weekend, you know. I mean, you guys got to talk about that. I mean, you know, 2 weekends in a row, you're stumbling over everything, and then now one race, and here you are, back again.
Well, Pocono was bad, and I don't think I've ever really run that great, and I'm not making excuses, but I think I've got a fourth-place finish there, and the rest are in teens or 20s. Last weekend, we ran 4th to 6th all day, just bided our time. You know, we led some laps in the beginning there. We got up as high as 2nd again and then kind of faded and stuff. And, you know, we ran okay. We just got fell behind a little bit on fuel strategy and finished 13th. But you know, for what we had last weekend going, you know, it was going to be a decent weekend for us. It was just going to be a good points day, and it didn't turn out as well as we wanted. But when you get into a slump of 2 weeks, I mean, it's not that bad. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say
coincidence?
Yeah, from our standpoint, I still feel the same way. This weekend would have been harder. Milwaukee's hard because that's a big haul. That's different than the other ones. To me, the other ones aren't really anything, you know, out of the ordinary. He's been doing his whole life, so I don't really worry. This one is a pretty good drain. You got to go a long ways, but the rest of it, again, I don't think, you know, I don't attribute to that. But obviously, if we go in the future and have more issues, we'll revisit that in the future. But I think he can go run long and hard. He's still young and strong.
David, and then we'll go to the deadline room.
Kyle, you've been a bear on road courses the last 2 years now, and you don't have, I mean, I don't know if you have any road course experience in your background. I mean, why have you taken to these circuits so well the last 2 years?
Well, in the beginning, I was lost, to be honest with you. I mean, I raced Legends cars and road courses in here 5 years ago and stuff, and learned the technique and stuff of shifting, of braking and all that. And then got to the Cup cars, and they're so different. I mean, I was just lost. And I give a lot of that credit to testing with Jimmy and Jeff a lot of the times and learning a lot from those guys when I was at Hendrick and working with them. And then, of course, you know, the more of that expertise goes to Max Pappas, who was our test driver at Hendrick and stuff, and learning from him and reading his reports and stuff that he did, and just kind of picking up on it, you know, following guys out there, following guys like Boris said, following guys like Robbie Gordon, you know, the guys that are good at it and fast at it. And so, you know, here this weekend, it just, you know, and we won at Mexico City. You know, that was pretty cool in Nationwide Series. That was my first road course win, and here again we won here this weekend. So, I mean, it feels pretty special to be able to do that in a Cup car now and be known as a road course winner in a Cup Series. But there's plenty of more road course races here to come, and hopefully, you know, we can keep the success going.
Do we have any questions in the deadline room?
David Poole, Charlotte Observer. Kyle, along those same lines, there's a lot of times people talk about winning road courses, and until today there were only 6 active drivers that were here this weekend that had ever won on a road course. You were not among them. To put your name on the list of guys who've won at road courses, that's another line on your resume in a season where you've won at about every kind of track there is. Talk about that. Does that mean a lot to you?
It does. I mean, you know, you've got Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart, who are probably the most well-known road racers in our garage, and then you know, Robbie Gordon as well too is on that list, and Boris, he's sort of nicknamed the Ringer. You know, he's one of those guys, and so. You know, here this weekend, it's just, you know, it means a lot to be able to put my name now on that list, but I'm not going to say I'm a road course ace or anything. You know, today we were just in the right positions at the right time. We had a great race car, and, you know, I was just able to drive it around to a win, and it feels special, yes, and hopefully we can do it again come Watkins Glen.
Any other questions in the deadline room?
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. To go back to David Gilliland, he said that he set up your very first Southwest Tour car here. Can you kind of talk about how that relationship evolved from there, please?
Yeah, it's he's cool. We've been friends kind of through the years. I guess it's been about 5 or 6 years when I came up here. Well, it wasn't that long ago, I guess. I ran my first Southwest Tour race here at Infineon with him and his team and those guys. They had a 2-car deal. I talked to him, and they gave me a ride, and so I mean, it was kind of funny. You know, I was leading him, I think, on the last lap, and he went into 11 and moved me out of the way for a spot. But, you know, I mean, we just kind of became friends. I raced another race with him at Phoenix, and then he got into the Nationwide Series and had his win at Kentucky. And, you know, I had some connections and obviously led him to a couple guys that I felt like were able to move him up the ranks. And then he got his Cup deal with Robert Yates. So, you know, I've got a little bit of friendship with him, obviously, and so I knew racing with him at the end of the race, it was going to come down to that, hopefully, and into where we were going to be able to race each other clean, and obviously it was that way. And you know, I got to thank David for being, you know, a great racer behind me, and I also got to congratulate him for the way he ran this weekend. That was cool.
Kenny Bruce.